What's good, people? All-Star voting has wrapped up, and in a few days, the players who have been voted in as 2022 All-Stars by the media and fans are going to be revealed. With that coming up, I want to reveal the players I think should be heading down to Cleveland for All-Star Weekend and playing in the All-Star game. Now, of course, you already know All-Star selections also come with All-Star snubs, so I'll highlight some players that I think will be snubbed as well. With that being said, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into the video. So before I begin, it's important that you guys understand that All-Star voting isn't like pickup basketball and you pick your 5. The media and fans split the vote for the All-Star starters for each conference, and they select 2 backcourt players and 3 frontcourt players. So you have to follow these position requirements when voting, which I'm going to do so. Now for the All-Star reserves, the coaches and media members vote for those players, and again, they vote for another 2 backcourt players and 3 frontcourt players, and additionally, 2 wildcard players that could be from any position in that conference. Yeah, so you can see All-Star voting is not as easy as it looks. But let's get right into the starters in the Western Conference. In the backcourt, I have Steph and Curry. I think this is pretty obvious. Steph, the owner of the most threes in NBA history and currently tied for the most points per game in the Western Conference amongst all guards, Steph was pretty much a lock for making an All-Star team. And even though his numbers might have fallen off as of late, he's still one of the best point guards in the game right now and still has the Warriors as the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. Alongside Steph, in the backcourt, I have John Morant. Ja has had a breakout season, and with his play, the Grizzlies have taken a huge step in the right direction. Tied with Steph for the most points per game amongst the guards in the Western Conference at 25.8 and putting up 6 and 7 as the Grizzlies are chilling in the 3rd seed after being a 9th seed last year. Forget most improved. Ja should hear his name in MVP talks because he's that good. Now for the Western Conference frontcourt starters, first up, I got LeBron James. Do I even need to explain? Year 19, averaging 29 points per game and aging like fine wine. Are the Lakers mid? Yeah, let's not forget that. But LeBron James is playing like he found a fountain of youth and backpacking the entire Lakers franchise. The second frontcourt starter is Nikola Jokic. Again, the reigning MVP is still putting up insane numbers, 26, 14, and 8 on over 57% shooting from the field, while leading the league in double-doubles. His team may not be in the best position in the standings, but Jokic is clearly one of the best players in the game right now, and in the process of hopefully repeating as MVP. And for my last starter, I have Rudy Gobert.
What did he say?
Look. I know, but look. Rudy has actually been the main reason the Jazz have been able to stay amongst the top teams in the Western Conference, and he leads the league in rebounding and blocks and is shooting over 70% from the field. I will say that a lot of injuries due to Anthony Davis and Paul George, who are frontcourt players in the West, may have opened up this spot for Rudy Gobert, but let's not negate the fact how dominant Rudy has been, especially on defense, and the current favorite to win another Defensive Player of the Year. And the Utah Jazz, when he's out, are only 1-6. Let's give some respect to Rudy for once. Let's get right into the Western Conference reserves. In the backcourt, I have Luka Doncic, the only player who's averaging over 25 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. If that doesn't scream elite, then I don't know what elite is. If Luka was maybe more efficient this year, then I could probably see him starting, but besides that, he has the Mavs in the 5th seed, and they have a shot of moving up if Luka keeps this up, but who knows what the Mavs can get done. In the other backcourt spot, I have the point guard, Chris Paul. Look, whether you like him or not, he is the machine that gets the Phoenix Suns offense on a roll, and a huge reason why they're sitting with the best record in the NBA. Leading the league in assists too, with 10 a game and less than 3 turnovers, just insane. You can name some other guys that could take CP3's spot that have better numbers, but we can't deny CP3's game translates to winning, and that's what the Suns are doing. In the other 3 frontcourt reserves, I got Karl Anthony Towns. In a season where I said Towns had to be much better, he's been more efficient, shooting 50% from the field and over 40% from 3, and still giving you 24 a night. He's been very productive offensively and probably the best offensive center after Nikola Jokic in the West. The second frontcourt player I have, Draymond Green. Look, again, his stats are not impressive, but for anyone that watches basketball, you know how important Draymond is, and he currently is the best defensive player on one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. One of only 6 players averaging over 7 assists and 7 rebounds, Draymond stuffed the stat sheet in all areas. And again, one of the all-NBA defensive first-team candidates and a potential candidate for Defensive Player of the Year this year. And in my last frontcourt spot, I have Paul George. Again, I know he's injured, but I think he'll still be voted in by the coaches and because of how he played before he got injured. Averaging 24, 6, and 7 before going down, Paul George was on a roll offensively and led the league in steals at the time with 2 a game. PG looked great, and it's unfortunate that he was injured, but to me, he deserves an All-Star nod. And for the last two spots, which are wild cards, I have Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker. D. Mitch, alongside his running mate Rudy Gobert, have the Jazz at number 4 in the West and is averaging 25 points per game on a good efficiency at 45% and is the workhorse on offense for the Jazz when they need him to be great. And Devin Booker, right next to D. Mitch, is averaging 25 a game on similar efficiency with a better percentage from 3 and leading the Suns alongside CP3 as the top team in the Western Conference. Yeah, CP3 is great, don't get me wrong, but let's not overlook D-Book and forget how easy it is for him to score, which he often does, going for insane scoring loads. Now those are my Western Conference predictions, but of course we have some snubs. Probably my biggest snub is DeJounte Murray. Longtime followers of this channel will remember me saying DeJounte had to have a breakout year, and he's averaging 19, 8, and 8 on 45% from the field while providing 2 steals a game. At only 25, Murray is super talented, and his skill set should arguably have him in the talks of being an All-Star. Another snub is Andrew Wiggins, who a lot of people want to see in the All-Star game. I mean, he had the 8th most votes and was 3rd in fan voting amongst the West frontcourt players. Wiggins is having a good year, and he started off hot, but as of late has cooled off. And I think there are other players who could probably get in above him, like Brandon Ingram, who has better numbers than what Wiggins has at 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists on 48% from the field. But Wiggins is a big reason the Warriors have seen a lot of success, and I've even highlighted that in one of my previous videos. Other players such as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards have looked great and have had a good season, but like I said before, the voting format definitely hinders a lot of players from getting their respect in an All-Star appearance, and of course, winning matters. With that being said, let's get into the Eastern Conference All-Star starters. In the backcourt, I have Trae Young. Ice Trae leads all Eastern Conference guards in scoring and assists, and yeah, the Hawks haven't looked great this year, but Trae Young has shown how skilled he is and how he's much more than a Steph Curry clone. Giving you 27 a night along with 9 dimes tells me all I need to know about how well Trae has been this season. Alongside Trae, I have DeMar DeRozan in the backcourt as well. DeMar has been sensational this season and has been one of the best closers in the fourth all season. While proving so many critics wrong, he's got the Bulls as one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference and averaging 26, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists on nearly 50% from the field. It's DeMarvelous, man. It's a no-brainer. We have to have him starting this year. Starting in the Eastern frontcourt, I gotta have KD. Injury or not, that man KD is a problem. Averaging the most points in the NBA at 29.3 and shooting over 52% from the field with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Ladies and gentlemen, KD is not one of them. It's unfortunate he's injured, but this was too obvious to not have the Slim Reaper in the All-Star game this year. In the next frontcourt spot, I got Giannis Antetokounmpo. The reigning Finals MVP hasn't slowed down one bit and is giving the NBA 28, 11, and 6 on 53% from the field. The Bucks aren't the number 1 seed in the East, but when Giannis is on one, it for sure feels like they are. Giannis is still doing Giannis things and is still in the conversation for MVP yet again. And the last frontcourt starter is Joel Embiid. As of late, Joel has not been human or from this earth. 7-footers should not be able to move like this, or give you 29 a night with 10 rebounds and 4 assists. And he's doing all of this without a reliable number 2 option, and the Sixers are only 2.5 games back from the first seed. Joel Embiid deadass picked up the city of Philly on his back and said, I got this. And as of late, Embiid is arguably the consensus favorite for MVP, and his game has shown it and his consistency. Now for the East reserves, in the backcourt, I have James Harden. Remember when people thought Harden was washed?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Harden is now one of the top leaders in assists per game in the Eastern Conference while giving you 8 rebounds and a solid 23 points per game. This isn't the prime James Harden we all know, but he's still the same offensive mastermind that can get his own shot and get others open with his skill set. And with KD injured and Kyrie only playing in away games, Harden has only played better to keep the Brooklyn Nets afloat. In the other backcourt spot, I have Zach LaVine. Zach is still the offensive nightmare from last year and right now is averaging 25 on great efficiency, shooting over 50% from the 3. Paired up with DeMar, the duo in Chicago is a problem, and with Zach continuing being a high-end scorer, it helps the Chicago Bulls flourish with his consistency offensively. In the last 3 frontcourt spots, I have Jason Tatum. Jason has had an interesting season, but he still remains one of the best offensive talents in the league, averaging 26 a night. The Celtics and Tatum have been very inconsistent to say the least, but as of late, they've looked somewhat better, and if the Celtics are playing good, it's usually because Tatum is also playing good as well. Next to Tatum, I have Jimmy Butler, which may come to a surprise to some people, but it's pretty simple. Jimmy is the best player on the best team in the East right now, which is Miami. I know he's missed a lot of games this year, but he's putting up 21, 6, and 6 on 48% shooting from the field. And honestly, I would be open to moving Jimmy off my all-star list, but looking at the East front court players, there weren't any players that moved me to replace them with Jimmy. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comment section. In the last front court spot, I have Jared Allen. I think a bigger reason why I have Allen is the weakness in the front court options in the East to pick from, and the All-Star game is in Cleveland, which might raise the chances of Allen being selected. But besides that, Jared Allen has been one of the focal reasons why the Cavs have seen major success, and is a nightly double-double, giving you 16 and 11 on 68% from the field. And we can't fail to mention the possibilities that Allen has at making an all-defensive team this year as well. With Cleveland being so good this year, Jared Allen has played a huge role in their success. And for my last two wild card spots in the Eastern Conference, these were tough. Like, I spent some time thinking about these guys, and I'm pretty sure these guys might make it. I have Darius Garland and LaMelo Ball. Darius Garland is another player who is having a breakout year for the Cavs, and on top of that, he's been a great playmaker and one of the main reasons why players like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen can get such good looks and dimes to the basket. Almost 20 points a night and 8 assists, Garland has been super important to the Cavs being a 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. And of course, we gotta talk about LaMelo Ball. The Hornets are one of the best offensive teams this year, and LaMelo is the main guy running that offense. While providing 19, 7, and 7, LaMelo may not have the spotlight like he did last year in his rookie year, but he still is one of the main reasons the Hornets see success in this year. Those are my Eastern Conference All-Star predictions, and man, there are a lot of snubs in this conference. From Jaylen Brown, who's looked great, to Fred VanVleet, who's looked great as well, to Sabonis, and even Tyler Hero, who has played great this year as well. I think a lot of the guys that I named can find a way onto the team due to players being injured or just getting voted in because, again, these selections are very tough. I'd expect VanVleet to maybe getting an all-star nod and add a wild card spot because he's been very productive for the Raptors, but we'll see. That concludes my 2022 All-Star predictions. If you disagree, for sure let me know in the comments section, and I'll be sure to reply to you guys and see what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Be sure to turn that post notification bell so you never miss a video. And until next time, stay on beat.